Hey, hello everybody.
Hey, I'm Alison Haislip.
And I'm Sandeep Parikh, and welcome to our third after show of the season.
Tonight, we are going to go behind the scenes of The Exile, Part 3, The Huddle, and chat with the cast about bringing the newest season of Curious Matter to life.
What do you do, Alison, when we go listen to the episode? Here's what I do. I'm just going to tell you.
Oh.
I put my headphones on and I just go lay down and close my eyes. That's like the only, to me.
Jonathan would be so proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what I do?
And it's just, what do you do?
I go get dinner, and I eat dinner while I listen.
That's also valid. That's also a valid thing.
Listen, we do this show right at dinner time. What do you expect from me?
Yeah. No. What's for dinner? Real quick, what's for dinner?
Oh, I had leftover pork fried rice that my cousin made me last night, but he made so much that he gave me extra.
Yeah. Amazing. All right.
I think what's more important
Raymond.
is that we're joined by someone. We have our very awesome guest here, Raymond Lee, who plays Albor Freitag. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Yes, you may know, for those of you out there in podcast land, you may know Raymond Lee from Quantum Leap, Top Gun Maverick, Here and Now, Kevin Can F Himself,
Great show.
Mozart in the Jungle. Some pretty juicy credits.
Raymond Lee on the show.
Talk about the elephant in the room.
Who played?
That's my elephant in the room.
See, I can tell you're a dad. When you can just drop like a pretty solid elephant
noise,
like
just in my front pocket. It's it's like I did it earlier today. I'll tell you how
Nice.
I like listening to the episodes. Also
Please.
with my eyes closed, but while I'm driving.
Oh, wait,
that
no,
makes sense.
hold up.
Wait, hold on. Yeah.
No.
Why is that not okay?
I mean, listen, in LA,
I mean,
we're only ever driving 2 miles an hour anyway
Honestly,
because of traffic.
you're
so.
here, so somehow it's working. Do you just do you have the force, or
I've been looking at my phone so much while I've been driving. I need to stop that.
I don't think these are things you should admit on the show, Raymond.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope no highway patrol officers are watching this.
Yeah.
That's most of our audience, actually.
That's our entire listening audience.
We're so excited to have you. You play Albor Freitag on the show. You were in Quantum
First off,
Leap. You were in Top Gun
badass.
Maverick.
A badass Albor Freitag.
Thank you, Jonathan
badass.
and Tiffany,
Yeah.
for making me an Albor Freitag a badass. I didn't know what to expect, but with their keen direction, he was made a pretty badass with a pretty dope way of speaking too.
We're going to get into all that. But for now, I just have to brag about you and say that besides being in Curious Matter Anthology Season 3, you are also Quantum Leap, Top Gun Maverick. I mean, those are some juicy roles. So we're pretty excited to have landed you for this episode. And then I believe very soon we're going to have Tiffany Smith. And this is now, at this point, this is a bit. Because it's been 3 for 3 in episodes that Tiffany had trouble getting on. So now this has to be the bit. And forever, she's going to always
It's like
have
waiting
to have
for
problems,
Godot.
otherwise.
Just always waiting for Tiffany.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck in a Beckett play. Is it her connection? Is it
we can't figure it out.
I mean, that's actually why we brought you on. Raymond, we brought you on to troubleshoot this.
Okay, cool. I'm sure I can't help at all, but I will do my best.
Perfect.
I am great at YouTubing tutorials.
We got
Tiffany.
Hold on,
Look
we
at
got
that.
Tiffany.
She made it. You know her? She made it. Oh my God.
We can hear her. We can see her. Rocking.
Wow, guys. I mean,
gorgeous
we did it.
white blouse dress situation. What's going on here? The earrings, everything's working.
Everything's working.
And most importantly, the camera and the audio is working.
Yep. Yeah.
Woo!
We did it.
Hello.
Our very own Bryce
Why is this
scored
a
it.
thing?
Gordon? Yes.
Every week. Every
Why?
week. I'm like, it's working on my computer just fine. And then as soon as the show starts, it's like,
Nope.
kicks me out. It's like, sorry, nobody can hear you or see you. And I'm like,
But
Great.
why? But what if I want them to see me in here?
This is the fastest we've gotten you on the show. So
That
that's
is true.
exciting.
No
We're
way.
making progress.
No way.
Raymond, you have no
I just
idea.
like to I like to hurry up and wait for me kind of thing where it's like,
Yeah.
I
Fashionably
don't.
late.
I get so annoyed.
It's a great tactic. We were talking about you the whole time.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
It's like you were here. Yeah. Good very true.
Liking here.
All right. F Voss in chat is very excited that you're here.
Yes.
Let's get some emotes in chat. We finally got the full crew. Do you have like a unusual skill? Like a weird stupid human trick or anything?
No, I don't.
Just regular skills? You just have
it's super regular. I can, like, my greatest skill is that I can do everything very poorly to like average. Like, I can't do anything great, and I don't have anything that stands out. You can't do. No, but like...
That is a lie, Ray. That is such a fair.
I'm pretty average at, like, all across the board, average to below average at everything.
Can you yo-yo?
Very average to below average.
Okay.
But, like, I did it, when the trend was going on, like, I was doing it. So, like, I can walk the dog.
Could you walk the dog?
I can walk the dog.
Could you shoot the moon? Can you go around the world?
I can do the, you can
rock the cradle?
I can rock the cradle.
I can't do that.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
I can go around the world. But that's like, average tricks. That's like 1 week's worth of practice.
Right. You can't like hunt a squirrel.
Don't even know that one. So no, I can't.
It's you literally hunting a squirrel and killing it with it. No. You could. Yeah, no, you can't do it. Okay. Well, maybe someday. All right, guys. Welcome
the next
section of the show.
We're here.
Let's talk about your reactions about how this story is going. But we'll start with you, Raymond. Just like, how did it feel hearing your performance side in the episode?
I thought my performance was pretty average to below average.
It's as good as you yo-yo?
Yes, and for those of you who subscribe, you are privy to why I'm designed this way. It's a design flaw that I need special direction. And I had great direction from Tiffany and Jonathan, and I got there. It was, you're free in that room to do whatever you need to do, and you can do it as many times as you need to do it to get it right. And I've never done that accent or affectation with any one of my characters before, so you're really taking a leap of faith there to think that I can tell some sort of truth with that sort of voice and character. And luckily, with some really great guidance, I mean, I felt like I heard a real being, it felt like I was doing something really broad and not specific, but it sounded pretty specific. Yeah.
Like, what I love about Ray so much, and I've told you this in person, so like I can say it now and it's not weird, but like, just doing Quantum Leap, like the fact that you can drop into all these different characters so quickly on each episode of that show, and like getting to see you do it with this character where it was like, we had an idea, you came in, and it's like within 2 seconds, like you were doing it and it was so believable and so awesome. And like, jokes aside, like being mediocre at all kinds of things, it's like you're amazing at them. And it's so cool because it's like watching you do it, like it's like fearless, like you just jump in. And I think that totally comes across in like the commitment to it. And maybe it's because you're not worried about being perfect and you're thinking like you're average that like makes it be so great. But it's like, it was awesome getting to have him come in and with a voice, because like I hadn't heard you do anything like that before either.
Well, that's all really very kind of you to say, but like when you like, okay, so when you meet Tiffany and then you meet Jonathan and you're there and they're presenting you with the work that they've done, it's like to go half speed or to not commit would actually be a crime. So like you just have to see what's going to work. And thank you again for the direction and the editing. And my God, Jonathan's so talented with the sound. Just the entire soundscape and the universe that he's created orally is just so phenomenally immersive, and it just kind of you don't even have to think. You're already there.
Above average. So
Jonathan is at least above average.
Yeah, it's like yes, he practiced more than a week.
Raymond, this is what I was going to say, but like listening to the episode, when I realized the character who was speaking was you, like I don't think I would have realized it was you had I not known that was your character's name. You know what I mean? And so I was like listening to the whole episode being like, holy crap, like this is what I love about voice acting is like I would have I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this doesn't feel like a character you would necessarily get cast as normally on film, right? Yeah. So
No. I mean, some of these sounds that I was making was just like, they were sounds that I think I've just made randomly while I was like hitting something, and then as and then I'm like, oh, I get to actually use this. But I'm thank you. I didn't know I could create those sounds from my mouth either.
Well, listen, we already know that you got so much range, whether it's elephant or whatever that noise is that you just made. I mean, there's, it was awesome having you in this episode. Tiffany, I want to kick it over to you for a sec. This was kind of a crazy episode. There's some kind of big reveals. What was your reaction when you first read that, the big reveal about Phil's character, Murdoch, turns out
to be the
station chief?
The hard thing for me is because the fact that, like, Jonathan and I kind of, like, talked about characters before I even got to read some of the full episodes, because of the fact that we had people asked and get people into the booth or recording. So I had an idea that we knew we needed someone who could do something. I don't want to give like too much spoilers about it, but we needed someone who could do a lot of, like, do two different sides of a character. And so having Phil come in, and Jonathan and I talked about this a lot, but I think Phil might have been the second person we recorded, and it was over the holidays. And I was at home at my parents' house on my laptop in my, like, bedroom, my childhood bedroom, like on my little laptop, like, directing Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar,
with Jonathan.
Samurai Jack himself.
Yeah, it was just bananas. And, like, I've known Phil for a bit, but, like, getting to work on that stuff and, like, hear what he could do and just, like, how quickly he would just drop into whatever we needed was so awesome to experience. And I think, like, the twists in the characters is just so much fun, and the reveals and stuff is just based off the fact that, like, this is all stuff, again, that, yes, it came from Police Your Planet, and Jonathan adapted it and stuff, but it's still fun for me to get to experience that as a listener, which is why, like, every night that we do these, I listen again, because I'm like, I can actually just listen as an audience for fun, instead of, like, listening for, does this sound okay? Can I understand everything? Does everything make sense?
Are you actually capable of doing that, though? I know so many people who are not able to, like, once the project is complete, to even sit back and be like, okay, now I enjoy it. Because so many people are like, this thing and that thing, and I wish I could change this now.
I actually think because so many friends are involved, I can a little bit more, because it's like, yes, I'm listening to what my character's doing, but also, like, it's just so fun for me to get to hear what everybody else did, because when you're in the booth, like, directing and working with them, I don't hear all the stuff that Jonathan ends up layering on until it's done either. So I think that helps a little bit to, like, it's not so much on me, because I'm just like, ooh, I want to hear it rated. Like, I want to hear Ray's stuff come together. I want to hear Phil's stuff come together. Or I want to hear the music.
And wait, speaking of friends on the show, Sandeep, you had, like, a great scene in this this episode.
Some fun. Yeah, this was, like, the first time that you get Rand outside of the booth, I believe, like, outside of the radio broadcast and, like, in sort of IRL. So that was cool, to be able to sort of start to reveal a little bit more about his, like, motivations and his, and how he sort of intertwines with the main characters of the show and stuff. And so that was, honestly, doing that part, right? Like, in the moment, you're kind of just reading the lines and listening to Jonathan's directions, and then to actually hear it fully realized with everybody, around the poker table, or the Mars version of the poker table, was really cool. Like, I could really visualize that scene, and it was like, oh, now I see why Jonathan wanted me to say it that way, like, in reaction to this other person's, to their characterization or what have you. So, yeah, this was a fun episode to listen to for that reason.
Raymond, I almost forgot. I had to tell you my favorite line, because I pick out a favorite line now every time we listen. And this episode, it was yours, where you say, everyone becomes a meatball. Something about everyone becoming meatballs eventually.
A good one.
Mars makes you all meatballs. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Yes, Mars makes you all meatballs.
Right there.
Yeah.
There will be like 40 people on this planet that understand that, but that's fine.
I'm honored that my line got chosen. It was an ad lib. Just kidding. No, just kidding. There's no such thing. I don't think there is an ad lib. I don't think you can do an ad lib on this. This is like, no, not with Jonathan. No.
Okay, no.
I couldn't even hold it for more than a second because I just knew Jonathan is watching.
He never uses my ad libs, but he lets me do this.
Oh no, Sandeep, what you don't realize is he just stops recording when you do that. He just lets you talk for a while.
Yeah, exactly. I just hear a toilet flush after I've been ad libbing for 3 minutes.
Oh, Jonathan himself is saying Mars makes you all meatballs will be in the store tomorrow. There you go. We made a t-shirt, y'all.
There you go.
No, knowing Jonathan, he's being very honest right now. I know.
Yeah, he's on it. He says legit. He says legit. Let's go. On having the line of the show, Alison's line of the show. Do you know, do you ever get that vibe when you read a line, or even in any show that you do, where you're like, oh, this line is going to be, people are going to like this line. They're going to make t-shirts out of this line. Do you ever?
Yeah, sometimes on Quantum, you would know when there would be an act out. And you would know that would be like kind of like the line that they're going to do a close-up on. So you would try to deliver it as Tom Cruise-y as possible.
The commercial
and
it trailer line. Yeah.
It has to like really come close to camp. And then you know that you hit it when you're like just brushing up against it.
You got to back off just a touch.
Yeah, because you got to give it something. You got to make it memorable. Like all of Nick Cage's most memorable lines are a little campy.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I have that
really
in
kind
mind.
Of all of those like 1980s one-liner type things were just a hair.
That's why we remember them all. I think about that. Like,
Welcome to Earth.
We quote many movies from like the 80s, 90s, maybe even early 2000s. We don't quote movies anymore. Think of any movie you've seen in the last like 15 years that you actually quote. Well, I could recite Tommy Boy forward to back. Like,
yeah. Why is that?
I think because they don't write like that. I mean, this isn't a bad thing, but I feel like a lot of entertainment has really started to fall into more of the like, let's make it grounded, let's make it realistic, like let's make it every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, even as I say that, but then we have like absurd shows like, and I say this with love because I was on the show, but like 911 Lone Star is one of the most insane shows I've ever been on. But it's not, the dialogue just isn't written like that anymore, Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
TV's harder because I feel like it didn't happen often on TV as much. Film stuff, I guess I think of like Batman, where it's like, I'm terrible. I never remember lines from movies. Yeah. But like, what does he say to the Joker?
Let's put a smile on that face.
Yeah, you want to hear how I got these scars?
Yeah. Why so serious?
Yeah. You want to see a magic trick? Maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think it maybe we're also like too referential to stuff, that older stuff. Like we're like, there's so many remakes and reboots and all that stuff. It's like harder to be more original. So are you really, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of always referencing something that's already been done. So it's hard to kind of.
And also, not everyone's watching the same thing anymore. Like everybody used to watch that one blockbuster movie. You'd go to AMC and everybody would watch it together. And and now it's like I
gather on Sundays to watch The Sopranos. Like and that was like the thing we all did collectively.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got to be a part of one of those movies recently that everyone did go back to see in the theater multiple times.
Top Gun.
What was that like for you?
That movie ruled, dude.
It was physically hard because I didn't get to eat any meatballs. I just hung out with a bunch of them.
You got turned into
a lot of meatballs in that movie,
and I became one. Meatball abs, meatball shaped abs, all around me. It was so much fun. So many abs.
Miles Teller has so many.
Dozens of abs everywhere. Yeah.
And then his neck has just a separate tiny little abs.
Just a lot of strong minds and egos around. But it was a lot of fun. It was a great learning experience.
I feel like we're at the edge of some really good stories right here.
Oh, there's a lot. There's so many, and some of them.
Can you give us one story that doesn't require an NDA?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like because like Glenn's like so everywhere right now. I have a great Glenn story that is it also it reflects on him really well too. The night that I checked into the hotel that we were all staying at in San Diego, I got in really late. I think I was one of the last ones to check in. And I wanted to check out their gym facility first before I took all my bags. Because I knew I didn't have enough abs. So I hadn't even gone up to my room yet. Just wanted to go check the gym. And there was a person in the center of the workout room with their stationary bike pulled out to a place where the stationary bike shouldn't be. Like all the stationary bikes are here, but he put it in the center of the gym. And he was covered like in a hoodie, and there was a puddle of sweat around him. And there was a laptop open and somebody's on a bike. And then I go inside and I wrap around the corner. And then that was my first time meeting Glenn. And I just said, hey, I know you're in the movie. And he's like, he takes off his headphones and he's watching the first Top Gun. And he is like feverishly riding his bicycle. He's like, yeah, hey, hi, dude. Nice to meet you, man. I'm so excited to work on this with you. Your character's amazing. This is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm like, wow, that guy's intense. And yeah, he's in it. And it was like the most Glenn you can get, I think. And he never disappointed. He was that all the way through.
He can quote Top Gun forward to back.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Otherwise, you'll be flying a cargo train full of dog shit. Yeah, that's amazing. He is a handsome. All right.
And I think we all sort of did that like individually to some degree, but it was just like, and in my mind, it's just like every time I tell this story, it gets even more and more fantastical. Like now I picture like a Damien.
The pile of sweat keeps growing and growing.
And then there's like a Damien Chazelle like spotlight just down on him, and the lights are off, and it just gets more handsomer
in
every
the San
time.
Diego Hilton.
Yeah. So Tiffany, were you just like steeped in like Meghan Markle stuff?
I was watching a lot of videos of the two of them together while I would work out. For sure, I was.
Yeah, makes sense.
And all of Suits.
I didn't watch Suits. I was watching more of the like how they interacted together, just like
the IRL stuff.
Yeah,
like the real stuff.
Yeah.
You mean the stuff that actually helped?
Yeah.
The Duchess, Duchess stuff.
Now, though, what I want to hear is, Ray, I want to hear Glenn's side of that, because I'm like, also, if I put myself in those shoes, you walk in and I'm mortified that someone came into the gym and sees that I'm doing that.
No, I think he wanted to be discovered. Yeah, I think he was there waiting. I think he actually packed up everything once I left, and he was like, okay, good, someone saw that.
He's like, someone saw me.
Exactly.
Someone knows how committed
I am.
Tell
my story.
Oh my God, now I picture him. You guys, 100% he did the same thing and watched Twister. Wherever they shot Twister, just the first one.
Yeah, you must have.
Oh, 100% you watched it. Yeah. I just waited for...
All right, well, we've now turned this into the Glenn Powell fan podcast.
Come over and find him.
I know.
Yeah. This is just the working out part. It's fun. I love it.
There was a lot of that.
All the abs. How many abs do we think we need to survive on Mars?
That's a great question.
Some of them.
Definitely some of the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of abs.
A lot of abs. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need those back abs.
I mean, I feel like if I'm like being scientific about it, I feel like it would be harder like at first, because when you first get to Mars, you're more strong.
Maintaining the strength.
So like I think actually developing.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah, developing better abs when you first come from Earth, I think would be really hard, because you would have to work out so much because you're already so strong. But
I really love that.
After, it would be easier.
Right. I really love that aspect of the show, right? Where like you kind of come in as your character Bryce comes in as kind of a superhero, and everyone sort of knows that like, oh, you still got the like
Earth juice.
The Earth juice, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but was that in the original book that was based off of
the G-Men stuff?
Yeah.
I think Jonathan's on the sideline, so maybe he can
Yeah. Yes, it was. Okay, that's really cool.
And he was responding. I was reading what he was saying, responding to lifting weights on Mars. 60%. He's saying we'd have to lift 60% more weight.
I'd be able to lift 30 pounds on Mars.
Listen, I would get look how strong I am. I don't need to work out.
I'm good. I just watched some TikTok video that made me so upset that told me that when you work out, you're really only burning 10% of your calories for the day. Like you burn more calories eating protein than you do actually working out. And I'm like, then why do I do it? I mean, it's fine. I want to be healthy and strong,
just
but so burn more calories.
In and see you in a pool of sweat.
Unless you're Glenn Powell, then you burn. I don't know. That's what this
is. Is that true?
It's just on TikTok, so it has to be true, right?
Does it? Well, it's
it was on TikTok. Yeah. Okay. Come on, please.
Why do you question it?
How do you question the veracity of TikTok?
TikTok you.
It's like you build the muscle because then it burns more when you're not after you work out. So you're building the muscles to burn more calories when you're not working out. But you have
That's right.
Okay, good, fine. I'll take that.
So going to Mars, because you know how people on the show Alone, do any of you guys watch Alone or those types of survival?
No, that scares the shit out of me.
Survival shows. Oh man, I'm obsessed with Alone.
Not really.
It's like 10 survivalists go out and have to the last one to stay out and survive in the wild.
But they don't know if the other people have been taken in,
and so it's survivalists competing.
Yeah.
And they don't know if anybody else. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's kind of a mind fuck. It's a great show, but they always fatten up before the show, obviously, because a lot of it's they're just gonna waste away. They're not gonna live on wild berries and pond scum.
For that long. This is a reality show.
It's a reality show. I think it's on Netflix or it's a History Channel or something like that, and then it goes to Netflix kind of thing. Anyway,
cool.
I feel like Mars would be the opposite. You'd have to get crazy. You'd have to do the Glenn workout. You got to get super Miles Tellered up, and then go to because you're gonna eventually
visit off,
flab out.
Yeah.
Miles Tellered is a great adjective.
Okay.
Get Miles Tellered out. I like it. It works.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many videos and stuff of astronauts and stuff and how they have to try to work out because your muscles atrophy.
You get a little bit more on Mars.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Raymond, do you like sci-fi in general? Is that a genre that you dig? Do you have favorite sci-fi stories? Things that you like?
I guess I do. I mean, I didn't realize that I was a fan of sci-fi until I started doing Quantum, and then I realized that I knew more of the references than I thought I did.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I before the show, I would never have proclaimed myself a sci-fi fan. But when you're around the writers and the producers, and they're always making references, and you're like, I get that. And turns out I like it. But
what would you have proclaimed yourself a fan of?
I don't know. I didn't grow up having posters on my wall of Star Wars or Star Trek or the things that naturally qualify you as a sci-fi fan, but I feel like I watched all of them and I enjoyed all of them, but I never really dove in.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of things that we were consuming as kids of the late 80s and 90s were all sort of sci-fi based, weren't they? It was all the cartoons are always sort of living outside of reality.
Right. There's always the Bionic 6 or whatever.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. But or even the Goonies, right? It's not sci-fi, but it's it has it's got a twist to it like that. So I
don't want to start talking about sci-fi and really alienate the people and be disappointed in me that I don't know enough about sci-fi. So I think I'm always afraid to talk about it.
Are you worried about the imposter nerd thing?
Totally. And
that's bullshit.
It's something I carry with me, and I feel like I don't deserve to talk about it.
I have a new goal. Alison, are you with me on this? Let's guide Raymond and Tiffany. Maybe you can join. Let's just exercise this demon. I think it's just because I feel you on this, especially because I'm in a lot of nerd spaces now, and then there are the people that'll be like, oh, you don't actually know.
Yeah, there's a lot of gatekeeping that has happened within the
a lot of gatekeeping, and I'm just you know what? Fuck off. you don't get to gatekeep my nerddom. Like, I'm sure I'm nerdy about something that you know is totally unrelated to your life experience, you know, and I think it's just as valid. So
yeah,
I don't know. I want to somehow like release you of this.
Thank you.
This,
well, in
this
that case,
like, I don't want you to carry this anymore.
Thank you. And that really puts me at a more comfortable place to talk about like Aliens and Predator and and like I actually really like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek installations. Those are some of my favorite movies.
Could have used more lens flares if you asked me.
Please, yes.
I don't want to see a face. I don't want to see a full face.
Unless it's
I just want to see
so
obscured faces.
Little light. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there is something that people do where it's like, you have to know everything about all of this to say you're a geek about it. But like, I mean, it's so not true. And I think it's just because like I've come to this place now where I get excited when somebody hasn't seen something. Like literally just this last weekend, I wanted to watch Alien 1 and 2 with my friends, and I invited two of my girlfriends, and they were both like, we've never seen it. And I was like,
it's exciting, isn't it?
Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to introduce you to this thing that I like so much.
Right.
So when it comes to geek stuff, I try and look at it that way. And I'm like, I hope that other people would respond that way, where it's like, be excited when you get to introduce someone to something that you love, because it's really fun.
Loki's it's self-sorting. The people that will gatekeep and give you crap for not knowing stuff are the people that you don't need in your life anyway. Like that's exactly the type of energy you don't need in your life. It is self-sorting.
Yeah.
The people that are like Tiffany's talking about, like enthused that you haven't seen a cool thing that they're excited about, like those are the people that you want in your life.
So we're getting very wise,
use it as a divining rod
in this episode,
right?
This is a very special episode of the Curious Matter Anthology Aftershow.
It's kind of late, man.
Oh,
yeah. Hurt people. Okay, so it just comes down to that.
Yeah, you're freeing me of a lot of things, and now I feel comfortable talking about The Matrix and Terminator, and like, like these are the things that I'm like, because like I would bring up The Matrix in front of people, and they'd be like,
"Oh my gosh!" Someone tweeted something. Someone tweeted something about The Matrix recently,
so good
because like his name is Neo, and this person was like, "Why did I only just now realize that Neo is an anagram of one because he's the one?" And I was like, "What?"
What?
I was like, man, why do we still discover things about this movie?
That's great. Oh my God.
I have a quick confession.
You've never seen it?
About The Matrix. And it's that when I first saw the movie, I saw it in theaters. I loved it. But for half of the movie, I genuinely thought his name was Neil. And
you didn't get subtitles.
I'm not kidding. I was like, why is he saying it so cool? Like it's cool. Like he's like, I'm Neil. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. He loves his name.
That's an amazing story.
And I think it was like it finally typed it on screen, and then I was like, oh, Neil.
Neil and Tabitha as the Trinity.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a better Trinity name. Sorry, that's not good.
Well, that's what I just think is one of the funniest things about Dune is that it's like this massive sci-fi world, and all of these planets are named crazy things and whatever. And then his name's Paul. You're like,
yeah. Hey, Paul.
Well, it's like that also is something that I just love about sci-fi and genre stuff, because you'll read the books and it's like everyone has their own idea of how people's names are pronounced.
Oh,
and
totally.
Then the audio version, or like even with this show, like people would come in and they like, I had to ask Jonathan stuff. I was like, how am I saying this? Because I may have read it a totally different way. And like 100%. Every actor that came in was like, wait, how do I say this? Like I feel like that's the funniest when you're like, you know who audibles things and who reads the book.
Totally.
It's a fantasy book series that's like 80,000 pages long, and then they made the show on Amazon. And I kid you not, like it wasn't until I watched the show on Amazon that I understood how to pronounce half the characters' names. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you say it.
100%. Or even say, I think I'm still saying it wrong, Aes Sedai or whatever. They probably pronounce it differently. Yeah, because you just read it. Is it Ace? I don't know. Anyway,
yes.
And then people will give you shit for that too. And I was always like, wait, doesn't that showcase that I'm a book reader, which is like a good thing that I'm like literate? But you're gonna make fun of me for saying it wrong because I read it.
All right. I feel like we should get into a little rapid fire here.
Let's do it. I think we did it. I feel good about this episode. I feel like we exercise some demons for Raymond.
A ghost party.
It's time for rapid fire. Absolutely, let's do it.
Is there a ghost party?
Yeah.
This is an inside joke.
I was going to say this feels like an inside joke.
So on the episode of Quantum Leap that I was on, when you shoot weird late hours, sometimes I get a little kooky, and like I'd been there for a couple of days, and they're all on set together all the time, and I'm like, am I gonna be the weird girl that like is just singing by herself being weird? We're in a like old hospital, and I was like, the lights were flickering on and off, and we're like, there might be ghosts here. And then Ray and I just started singing together about it's a ghost party and like dancing around. And now it's our thing that we always say, it's a ghost party. It's a ghost party.
Yeah. And like, yes. And you would think that like after doing it for 10 minutes straight, like other people would join. It was just us. Nobody like backed us up. It got super awkward, but we really committed.
Could be that.
Raymond, are you ready? For some rapid fire?
Yeah, Raymond, this is just for you. We're going to do a little rapid fire. So it's 5 questions. Sandeep and I are going to just fire off at you one after another. First thing that pops into your head.
All right.
Is what we want.
Avocado.
All right.
Correct.
Sure.
Did it start? Okay.
You know what? That could work for the first question. Okay, here we go. This is called the Exiles list.
Oh, I'm so bad at this already.
If you were exiled to a foreign planet, what would you bring?
Chicken.
Cool. One sci-fi show, book, or movie that you'd also bring with you.
Jodorowsky's Dune.
It'll take a while. One food that you'd bring.
A chicken.
Yep.
Is it the same chicken?
Very similar to Tiffany's thing. 2 chickens.
Okay.
All right. Do you think you'd actually survive on Mars or in the world of Exile? For real?
Yes, I believe I currently have enough abs to survive on Mars.
I think so.
Nice. It's all about the abs. Okay, and would you ever actively choose to live on Mars?
No. I am a coward.
Yeah.
I have too much to lose currently.
Like your abs.
Like I can't stand to see my abs go away.
Yeah,
work too hard for
these. I think that you're going to get that answer from most parents probably. Like, nah, pass. I'm going to stay hang out with my kids.
Would y'all go to Mars?
No, I'm with you. No interest.
No, nobody. No.
Until it's like,
I mean,
it has to
be. Listen, if there's a world in which we can come back from Mars, maybe.
Yeah, safely. Yeah.
But right now, going to Mars is a one-way ticket.
Yeah,
totally.
So.
Yeah,
right.
It's a kamikaze mission.
Moon's a different question.
Yeah.
If I can go there,
because I can come back.
I would only go if I knew I couldn't. Like if it was like, you need to leave planet Earth for forever, I'd be like, cool, send me to Mars. I'm good. But if they were like, do you want to go to Mars and then come back? I have the scariest part of my thought process of going to somewhere in space is getting stuck. And like, whenever in those sci-fi movies and someone just ends up floating around in space and not suit, and you're like, horrible. Yeah, that would be my biggest fear. But if I already can't come back, then
still out there.
Yeah, I think I just like things too much, like amusement parks and.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stuff that Mars definitely doesn't have right now.
Anything like a movie theater or Paper Rice, this really great wrap plate. I just I like food. Why? It just seems like it's the longest hike ever. Like you just be on that a forever hike and be like, hey, there's more red rocks over there. Wow, I'm really glad that I came here. This is amazing.
Great.
All right. Should we wrap this puppy up?
All right. Did we do it?
I think we did it. I think we did it.
Okay. It is time to wrap things up for this installment of the Aftershow. Thank you to everyone who came out to be a part of the live experience. For all of you listening out there and a chat. Yeah. For all of you listening out there in podcast land, please join us on July 30th at 7 p.m. Pacific time to live listen with other fans and get a chance to interact with the cast. And once again, that will be July 30th at 7 p.m. Pacific on twitch.com/effingfunny.
Hey, thank you to our guests, Raymond Lee and Tiffany Smith, for joining our after show shenanigans. You guys are awesome.
And thank you again to our technical team, DeathQueenVex, to everyone who's been moderating.
Yes.
Thank you for keeping the wheels on this show.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, listen, we want to hear your feedback. Make sure to reach out and follow us on the Twitters and the Facebooks and the Instagrams under the handle @CM Anthology, or online at www.cmanthology.com.
Please also make sure to like, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. You can now even leave us comments on Spotify.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. The Exile is based on Police Your Planet by Lester Del Rey, a literary work in the public domain, and the show was produced in accordance with U.S. copyright law. Curious Matter Anthology is produced by the Nightville Workshop in association with Effin' Funny Productions. Copyright Nightsville Workshop 2024, all rights reserved.
We'll be right back here with the next after show in 2 weeks, but make sure to listen to the next harrowing chapter of The Exile, as well as our next minisode. I am Alison Haislip.
And I'm Sandeep Parikh. Thank you so much for listening.
And thank you to Raymond Lee and Tiffany Smith for being on the show with us.
Again.